juice, I'm waiting on that day. Riding in a Benz coupe, I feel
but
like
our first L is listen. As we know, our job is to listen, and everything that we do when we come in contact with customers, first thing we want to do, obviously, after we introduce ourselves, which is the most simple thing as possible as we're going through our intro and icebreaker. But the first L is to listen. All right. Once we first pitch a person, we go to the door, tell them who we are, who we with, and what we're here to do. Hold on, give me 1 second. Once we get to tell them who we are, who we with, and what we came to do, then it's our job to listen for the first objection, because we understand our process, correct? We understand the process of what we do. We knock on the door, we pitch. Is usually an objection after a pitch, right? That's the most common thing to do. 60% of people that we knock on are going to give us objection after the pitch. So once we pitch and we hear the objection, the first L is listen. We want to listen to that objection. Why is it imperative to listen to that objection, Tiffany? Real quick, let's be efficient too. We have to be professionals at what we do. Let's be quick with our responses, because this is how we are at the door.
You want to listen so you can hit a pain point.
Bingo, hit our pain point. What are some of our common pain points that we hear after a pitch? Or common objections?
I'm not interested.
Hey, I'm not interested. Give me another one.
My wife can't do all of that.
Right? That's a Kyle factor. Can't operate without spouse. B-Dot, give me an objection, a common objection, or a common pain point that we hear after our pitch.
Just pay for it.
I just pay for it, right? I don't feel like you want to do no switch. I don't want to do nothing of that nature.
I want to keep everything the same.
I want to keep everything the same, 100%. Now, after we listen, right? We listen and we hear that pain point. We hear those objections. Then it helps us move into our A. Our A is to agree. The agree is to make sure that we let the customer know that, hey, I hear what you're saying. Right? I understand your pain point. I understand that you're not interested, right? You probably was sleeping on the couch. You probably was playing a game. You probably was working at the time, depending on what time we knocked on your door. So I understand that you're not interested, right? We want to agree with them. The reason that we need to agree is because it establishes what? What does it establish when we agree? What does agreeing with the customer do for us, or does for the process? Anybody?
For the process, I would say aim. Will get us to basically move on.
Right, true indeed. But what's the value of agreeing? What's the value of agreeing with the customer?
It's creating a common point to get them relaxed.
Common point of entrance, right? Even playing field. I see where you're coming from. You know, it's men on this call right now. As sometimes when your wife is complaining to you, she's not wanting you to give her a solution, right? Men are solution based. Leaders are solution based. Sometimes the wife don't want a solution. She just wants you to listen. She wants you to agree with her. She wants you to understand her side. Our customers are the exact same way, okay? So agreeing with the customer put us as an even playing field to let them know, hey, I see, I hear, and I feel where you're coming from. Right? Which then comes into our R. Ours is to rebuttal. Now we have to rebuttal the objection that they gave us after them letting us know, or excuse me, after us letting them know that we agree with them. Right? So, hey, I'm not interested. I totally understand that you're not interested. I can see why you're not interested, because I actually haven't given you enough information to even be interested in. Right? Simply, we're just letting you guys know about the raise increase that's happening in the next couple months based on the PIT program, based on the solar farms that's in the area. Now we get a chance to rebuttal. All right. I don't want to do any switching. I totally understand. Right. I hear where you're coming from. But let me ask you a question. If somebody would have told you that you can get your eggs at $2.50 for the rest of the decade back 5 years ago, would you have got that then if you knew where the price of eggs were going to be now? Of course you would have. Right. So here's just what I'm bringing for you guys today. Right. You want to lock it in now so you don't have to pay more in the end. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Customer? Now we have to rebuttal. OK, we have to rebuttal. And after we get done with a rebuttal, what is the immediate thing that we want to do? Close. We want to close. After every rebuttal, we must come back to the close. It's called a call to action. So immediately after I rebuttal, as I get them to understand my scenario, my story that I gave in my rebuttal as well, then, hey, look, I just got a quick, simple question for you. How do you get your bill? Do you get it in the mail or you get it online? Perfect. Go ahead and grab a copy. I don't need to see it. You just need to have a copy in front of you for reference. I'm going to wait right here, okay? And then we got to disengage. The disengaging after the close is very important. Right? It's very important. It's almost disrespectfully important. You know how Steph Curry shoot a shot and he turn around and jog up the court before it even happened? It's like he already know what's going to happen. So you have to assume the sell the same way in your close. Do me a favor, go ahead and grab a copy. I'm going to wait right here. And then I'm going to start filling out my log. Decision maker, BP. Does this make sense? All right. Lark, as a rehash, we have to listen for pain points. Listen for information. On our first loops, we want to gather as much information as possible. We want to listen for you guys who are just out here. Oh, I already had this. Man, you guys did X, Y, and Z. Oh, last time I spoke to a guy like you, this such and such happened. Right? I'm not able to get solar. I don't have the money to pay out of pocket. Right? I can't afford the installation costs. You want to listen for those things because now I get to agree. Hey, look, Miss Deborah felt the same way. Right around the corner, right there on Fairmount, she felt the same way. She didn't want to go solar, and it was because all the upfront costs. Guess what we were able to do for her, though? We was able to use her as one of our model programs, which we paid for all the upfront costs. Imagine being able to go solar and actually turn your home into an asset and not have to come out of anything out of pocket. But I don't know if you actually qualify for that same model hold program. In order for me to see, you just need to have a copy of your bill in front of you for the graph on the left side. Go ahead and grab that copy. I'll wait here. Right? I'm setting them up. I'm framing. After you agree with them, and then you come with the rebuttal. The biggest thing in your rebuttal should be telling stories, you guys. I'm gonna be honest. That's really where your sales is really gonna increase on your close. Being able to paint a picture with your words, with your confidence, with your passion, and paint a story that's gonna hit that pain point so hard that the customer is like, I have to move forward. I don't want to deal with the consequences. I don't want to miss out on the incentives, the rewards. Immediately, and then we have to close, disengage, and wait on them to go get the bill. Give me some questions on that. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Any objections you guys want to role play real quick with the LARC? Because that's the next phase that we're going in. So if you guys got a specific objection, let's point those out.
I'm gonna ask you objection, but what if they go grab the bill and they basically, how you said, when you open up, but then after you get the bill, they close right back out.
So they allowed you to show them the pain point on the bill, and then they still decided to say, well, I just want to think about it or something?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we would have to identify, most importantly, is to see, okay, what is it that still is causing them to hesitate? So my question would be, let's role play it. Give me a way that it was said to you that I can specifically attack with you right now. So boom, you showed them the bill. You seen that they were paying higher than what they were supposed to, or they can see this potential savings they can get if they went solar. Then what did they say after they seen that it could be solved? Give me a specific objection.
No, I don't think I want to do that right now.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. But let me ask you a question, Mr. Dorsey Bay. Does this program make sense to you?
Yeah.
Adding a solar plant on your home to produce your own power for ownership, as you see here, that it can almost cut your bill at least 30% in reduction as far as price costing. Does that make sense to you as far as going solar and owning your own power?
Ran me up 200, now I need to have a ticket. Shit that got me on this tether, bitches fucking up my money. I be in and out the set, I'm just as fresh as out of junk.